City of St. Catharines Culture Days 2021 presents a traditional pencil and paper animation 12 drawing walk cycle demonstration by Danny Molek. Hi, this is Danny for City of St. Catharines Culture Days to instruct 12 drawing walk cycle and pencil and paper animation in the Disney tradition. Now, the purpose of a walk cycle, the reason why it's so important is that you can loop a walk cycle into infinity by attaching the last drawing to the first drawing digitally. And then you can work out all your arcs of motion, your squash and your stretch, and all the basic foundational principles of animation. And what you're going to need, we're going to start off with a treadmill, and this is what a treadmill looks like on Acme animation paper. And we're going to draw one of these, starting from the beginning. Now what you'll need is some supplies. You'll need animation paper, Acme, registered. This is Acme registered animation paper like you saw, with 3 holes in there. This is an Acme, you can get that on Amazon, it's not a big deal. You can get all this stuff on the internet, just order online. This is an Acme registered peg bar, it's by Chroma Color. This will make sure your paper stays in the same spot when you put them on, and you can retains consistency. You'll also need some colored pencils or a graphite pencil. I got Color Ace, Prismacolor. These are animation standard. I'm going to be using blue today, red, and I'll be using a graphite, that 12B HP pencil. And if you don't have these, just use a graphite pencil, it's not a big deal. You'll need some elastics. The purpose of the elastics is to keep the paper on, so when you're flipping it, you flip the paper with your hand, and then you keep the elastics on so they don't fall off. You're gonna need a ruler for your treadmill right here. So that's the only point we're gonna use a ruler, because they always told us, you gotta learn how to draw freehand. Don't use guides, but I'm getting older and I say, forget it, I'm just using a ruler for the mechanical stuff. I'm too old for this. You'll need an animation desk or an animation disc. You can just work this on your table too, but this is a plexiglass disc and then the light shines through it. So you can see your field guide, which is your grid. You can get, these are expensive, but I'm sure you can photocopy your own grid on a piece of paper or something if you don't have anything. It's called the animation field guide or field chart. You're going to need some sort of camera mount. I have a professional Manfrotto Magic Arm 143A kit, which was about $300, but you can get a camera mount for a cell phone for about $20–30 on Amazon, no big deal, and you'll have the same operation. That's to put your camera into the computer, but we'll talk about that later. And you'll need some tape just to tape your peg bar onto the desk. So we're going to start off by doing a field guide, and then we'll do the 12 drawing walk cycle, and I'll be explaining everything as I go. So I hope you enjoy Danny's Culture Days 2021 extravaganza walk cycle. Okay, so here's we're gonna start off with the treadmill. Now I got my ruler out, my straight edge. We're just going to draw a character. I kind of measured it with the grid before, the proportions. That one line's not supposed to be there. I'll fix it later. So we're going to draw a stride on the treadmill first, just to get our measurements right, proportions, stuff like that. Here we go with the red pencil to draw the line. This is the only time we use a line. I'm sure with the Stickman you can use a straight edge. I just I only use it for the treadmill. That one goes on the back. We make it in 3 dimensions there, right? So the treadmill shows a bit of depth by pushing one in the back and putting another diagonal. The front foot and the back foot. Treadmill. Now we gotta number it. So we cut in the middle. The first foot is, what is that? That's 1. Get that right. That's 1. That's 7. That's 1. That's 7. That's 10. That's 4. That's a mid stride. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's a treadmill. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to do the walk. Start off with drawing number 1. We're just going to do a trace back. These are called trace backs when you copy directly from a previous drawing. It's like your master drawing. So it stays on model. It doesn't mutate or whatever. There we go, simple enough. Now we're going to draw the down position. This is squash. I didn't put a lot of squash on this, stretch on this walk, but it naturally happens when the character compresses. So this is the second drawing in a 12 drawing walk cycle is the lowest drawing. This is the low. So that one's done. So we're affecting gravity with the hands, and they kind of float up there. They bounce back up or whatever. Just gravity shook them up a bit there. So now here we're drawing. Oops, mistake. This is it. We gotta do number 3. Oh no, we're doing the mid stride. There we go. So this one's high, but either the mid stride number 4 or drawing number 5 will be the highest, but that's up to your own preference. I usually put the mid stride below the number 5. 5 is usually the highest for me. So I avoided going over the crotch just because of Freudian psychology. You don't want to deal with it. So the arms should be like pendulums, but I really speeded it up. Everything. So the camera's at twice the speed, just so you don't get bored watching this. But it's nice to hear the crinkle of the paper. Too bad we can't hear that. So this is the high, number 5. So we're swinging the arms like pendulums. You can have arcs of motion on there. You can draw a trace, like a blur, a screen blur, with your scribbling or your doodling when you're getting bored drawing this, and then you can make smoother actions. You can follow the previous drawings on the same page, on the top page. I don't do that here though. It's just something they taught us to do as an aid. We're just drawing a Stickman. After this, we're going to draw a dude. You can draw a dudette if you want. It's the same thing. Just make a hourglass, 2 triangles touching each other at a point for the body, and it has an hourglass figure, and you can make it a dudette and just put some hair on it, long hair or something. So that's the high, number 5. We're doing number 7 now. Very similar to the trace back, just so everything's opposite. Okay, so we're gonna fill in number 6. Looks like. See, there's straight ahead animation, there's key drawings and in betweens and stuff like that. So I'm doing key drawings. You can do a straight ahead drawing starting 1 through 12, which I'll do on the dude. That's because the work is already done, the mechanics already done. But keys and in betweens, I'm doing the keys first and the in betweens after. In the old Disney animation, they used to designate jobs to in-betweeners and key animators. So one piece of animation might have like 5 different people working on it. And no one can really claim that they did that all themselves. But with technology, you can do it all yourself. And say, this is my animation, no one helped me with it. And I can show this off to my friends or my sweetheart. Yeah, so animation's a lot of fun. Animation's a lot of fun. There's the down on the other side. This is the feet are reversed. Now, for the second half of the Stickman walk cycle, it's just doing something similar to the first 7. So the first 7 are similar to the last 7. And there's no drawing number 13. Drawing number 13 is 1 again. But you have to think in a different kind of math for drawing on this paper. It's really confusing. But when you do a loop, the last drawing is the first drawing. That's the best way to say it. Yeah, so which drawing are we on now? Which one are we doing? Number 4? No, number 10. That foot's raised. Yeah, so now this is the high for the other side. Swing it like a pendulum. Yeah, so it's almost done. It's just, now you can see the numbers in the corner of the page. You can put any notes you want to put on to keep track of everything. You just circle the key drawings. And you can put notes for highs and lows and squash and stretch. And you can do little timing things for secondary action. There's secondary action, which is like the swinging arms on the body, the pendulum. And there's tertiary action, which is like hair swinging around and stuff like that. And ripple action if there's a tail on the character. So 12, we're up to 12. Almost done. We're in the clear. And I've done better walk cycles in this, but it just... I'm showing you this with as much speed as possible. just so you don't get lost in the detail. Because there's one thing about animation and drawing is that to be an old Disney animator, you had to know how to draw and animate. But so much of digital media and software and apps allows you to animate without knowing how to draw. But what an advantage it is to be able to draw and animate at the same time. And there's no less merit to any other kind of animation. It honors tradition. So that's it. Let's see it. There we go. He's walking. Yeah, not too much squash and stretch, but you can see the highs and the lows. It is squashing. And the hands got a little jive action there. It's a bit jaunty, I'd say. But it works. Just got some character to it. So there we go. After this, we're just enjoy the walk, and after this break, we'll go and put the character on. We're gonna do books Danny the animator recommends for animation. Richard Williams, the animator's survival kit. Animals in Motion, Edward Muybridge. The Illusion of Life by Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnson. An Atlas of Animal Anatomy for Artists. W. Allenberger, H. Dietrich, H. Baum, and edited by Louis S. Brown. And any anatomy, animation, or cartooning book you can find. Okay, we're back. So we've done the Stickman walk cycle. Looks pretty good. Now we're going to add a character over top of it. We're going to put a body on him. Now you can look online for character sheets. I did one of Ringo in college, which you can see. These help you get used to drawing a character, but you draw them in all sorts of poses, gestures, emotions. And you learn the character inside out, and then you throw it over your Stickman. To keep it simple, we're just going to be doing a dude. And if you want to do a woman, you can do a dudette simply by drawing, instead of the Stickman as a rectangle, as a triangle. And then it has the hourglass form you can put around it, just like you see on the drawing of the dudette. So, any character you came up with in school, you can just draw now the easiest one. And then, unless you want to try something challenging, you can look for model sheets online. But for this exercise, we're doing a dude. So, we're going to get down to it. That's all there is to it. Let's try to wrap this up. Okay, let's get down to it. The character now, the dude. This is pretty straightforward. Not really going to do any trace back. It's pretty simple. It's putting some meat on these line drawings here. So, yeah, just use it as a center line, the Stickman. Balance it out if it doesn't line up with your treadmill. You have some space to do that. It's so simple. There was an anatomist called Robert Beverly Hale. There's books by him and stuff in lectures. And he believed written in one anatomy book that everyone has a little character inside their head that they draw every time they draw a person. Or whether it's a Stickman or a starfish, or I know Johann Goethe, writer of Faust, called it the homunculus, the representative, a figure representing the soul. But yeah, it just, when you draw your dude or dudette, it's just the first thing that comes to mind. We got a pair of t-shirt and jeans, and it combs his hair or whatever, a basic dude. Can't mess it up. First thing that comes to mind. So these steps are a lot faster. You see, I'm just trying to rough it in. If I was to do this for a finished product, I'd test it on the camera, and I would fix up all the little glitches and stuff like that. But this one's got a lot of life to it anyways. Just cleaning it up. The color erase are really easy to erase. I'm using a darker one, but you can see how much darker the pencil is. Blue is the standard color they use. It was just for non-photo reproduction when they had Xerox photocopiers, but you can use any color you want. Prismacolor color erase has 24 different colored pencils, so you can pick your colors, your favorites, or whatever sticks out the most or is less obvious when you're doing light drawings. So I'm just drawing in. You can see the arms are kind of weird, but that's not a big deal. You can just kind of balance it out with these graphite drawings here. And what looks like a weird drawing in one piece of paper, when you play the sequence all together, you don't even notice it as being awkward. Yeah, so we're on drawing number 7. I think we're halfway there. And again, this is at twice the speed of real time. It's just so you don't get bored watching this. We're on drawing number 8 now. This is the low. You can see how handy it is to have an eraser. You just always go back and clean up your lines, or as soon as you define the final line. Drawing number 9. Eyeballs, haircut, mouth, that's all you need. Moves so fast, this guy's like, it's like he won a scratch ticket at the corner store and he's going to return the lottery ticket. You can come up with a story like that, who knows, you can draw a story with all these. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. If you ever have trouble keeping on model, you can just draw on the treadmill your dudette and just do trace backs. There's just no need. It was coming straight from your imagination. The wobbles give it more character, and the variations give more character, and the life and the video of the animation. Oh, and looks like we're almost done. This drawing number 12 it looks like. Yeah. And we're done. Just tidy this up a bit. 12, 11, 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's done. Now let's go to the videotape replay. Yeah, so we got some squash and stretch on there. We got some pendulum action around the arms. A nice treadmill. Yeah, that's our dude. Just chilling out. That's about it. And this is done at 10 drawings a second. At every 3 frames, another drawing. So that was the Culture Days 2021 City of St. Catharines, Danny's, Molek's walk cycle with Stickman and character. Now, the thing is, you gotta know how to put this in the computer. Now, there's a lot of different software out there, and I just use Adobe After Effects. I don't know if anyone else uses this. But all you gotta do is, the standard for film nowadays is 30 frames a second per second. So you just go into film editing software, Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, I use iMovie as well for Mac, and just put each drawing at 3 frames per second and just keep looping it into infinity. Just go copy pasta, make some copy pasta, make a whole bowl of it. You can play around with timing too. Space and time is all what animation's about. So, and if you don't have, you don't want to do any of this technology, you're too intimidated, you can't afford it, it's not a big deal. Do what I did in grade 6. I made a notebook, and I just drew pictures in the corner and I animated them. It's simple like that. I just did this in grade 6. Just any notebook or whatever with empty paper on the side. Or I got these at around Christmas, flipbook paper. It's the same thing, but it's professional. It's got screws in it. You can undo the screws and make the books at any size you want or take drawings out. I never put anything in this one. You just flip it the same way. It's really good quality. So that's Culture Days St. Catharines 2021. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll have some extra notes for everyone, just so you can do the instructional video at home or learn from it. Okay, ciao ciao. This activity is funded in part by the St. Catharines Cultural Investment Program. Workspace and support provided by Start Me Up Niagara Work Action Center. Working together, moving forward. Next steps to employment. AV guy, Jesse Frank Matthews. Self-employment communications coach, Sandy Middleton. Special thanks, Tony and Lydia, my lady friend. Subscribe to my Danny Molek YouTube channel for more cartoons and drawings and other stuff. Okay, thank you. Bye.